You might think that success in something like war would just be simply a matter of who has the most firepower, who has the most biggest, bestest guns and rockets and so forth. But you can go all the way back in history. So long as there's been recorded history, there's been lots of Davids and lots of Goliaths, right? And in almost every case, these intangible aspects of warfare and human conflict, that is, the psychology of war, have been real difference makers. So you look at a huge country like Russia attacking Ukraine. It's not a small country, but you would think that just based on military might alone, Russia could have crushed them in 6 weeks. But there is a spirit, so to speak, of war, which is, in other words, another form of psychology, I guess, of motivation and grit, maybe, and determination to prevail even when the odds are against you. So psychology more directly influences training. How do you train troops to be effective soldiers? There's a huge psychology of that. There's also a huge role of psychology in training cognitive skills, better decision-making. So I've done 10 years' worth of research in an area called situational awareness within the military context, where we know how to measure how soldiers and their leaders size up a situation and predict what's going to happen next, and how to train that and make it better. The role of simulations, like immersive simulations, in making better decisions is an important application of psychology. Teaching soldiers skills to overcome or be invulnerable to combat stress so they are not as likely to be vulnerable to PTSD and related disorders. Those are just some. I could just go on and on about the importance of psychology. And my thesis in that book was that for wars of the 21st century, psychology is arguably the most important science. You look back at World War I, chemistry was really important. It might have been the defining science. Bigger, better, badder explosives, right? And mustard gas and things of that nature. World War II, physics was arguably the deciding science, radar and the nuclear bomb. There's a historian named Byron who talks about there being a World War III, and that's basically the Cold War, and their sort of information technology and computer science was super important. In World War IV, which he says we're in now, psychology is the defining science.